Hello, and welcome back. The ultimate goal of each Hitman level is to achieve the Silent Assassin rating, meaning nobody saw the dead or unconscious bodies and you didn't get spotted by any cameras or NPCs. But honestly, they are very lenient about what they consider Silent Assassin. People would eventually find bodies stashed in crates or closets, shooting guns would leave shell casings, the list goes on. So today I wanted to run the entirety of the Hitman 3 campaign without leaving a shred of evidence left behind. No bullet shells, no explosive shrapnel. I can't leave any evidence behind. Started out in Dubai, I needed to pick my loadout first. I decided to bring a tranq gun, which shoots a dart using pressurized air, so no shell casings to worry about, an emetic gas grenade, and some coins. With my loadout selected, I need to take down two different targets, Carl Ingram and Marcus Stuyvesant. I decided to deal with Marcus first just because I thought he was going to be slightly easier to knock out and get rid of. But like I said, I can't just kill him and then stash him in a closet, as the rotting smell would attract attention even after I leave. So I need to find a place to hide his body that no one would look, and even if they did look, would look like an accident. Making my way up to the employee back room, I need to get rid of this guard first to complete my plan to kill Marcus. Tranking him and dumping him down the elevator shaft allows me to do whatever I want once Marcus comes into this room. But for now, I just wait until Marcus and his bodyguard arrive to the security room, where my plan goes into effect. Once Marcus leaves this room, I make sure to bump his guard to allow Marcus to get even further away before I trank him. But I didn't stall the guard long enough, so let's try a new strategy. Making my way back up to this room, I again trank Marcus, then subdue his guard before he has any time to shoot or shout, alerting others nearby. Then I dump both the guard and Marcus down the elevator shaft before grabbing the guard's gun. This was for sure the easiest kill of the entire run. While the bottom of an elevator shaft isn't the most optimal location to store a body, we are on a very high floor of the world's tallest building, so I'd imagine that there wouldn't be much, if anything, to identify these kills as foul play once they hit the bottom. Now comes the hard target of this map. I first have to make my way outside and up to his penthouse before getting into his office, where there are 3 NPCs that never move. I first need to get rid of this guard so he doesn't, shoot me. Throwing my emetic gas grenade makes him sick, causing him to find the nearest bathroom. That gives me a little bit of time to deal with the other two. Distracting the further one, I'm able to subdue the closer NPC. Then I go and punch the other one, where he obviously sees me, and that's evidence. So I dump both of them off the side of the building, where they land in this weird part of the building, and I'm guessing they won't be spotted before they decompose. Then, after Carl makes his way up to this office, I lure him outside by standing in his line of sight just long enough to make sure he will walk out of the balcony before subduing him and dumping him as well. Now I just need to get out, but the guard that went to go puke is back. So I put my gun on the ground, causing him to come pick it up, and while he's walking out of the room, I just subdue him and then dump him as well, allowing me to grab his AK and leave the level without leaving a shred of evidence behind. Moving on to Thornbridge Manor, I practically have the same loadout as before. This time I only have one target to kill, Alexa Carlisle, along with grabbing a case file from her office. Starting off, I make my way up to her office, grab the case file from the safe, which might be considered as evidence, but if it seems like Alexa just disappeared, it wouldn't be incredibly weird if she took something so important that she put it in a safe with her. After grabbing the case file, I make my way over to the room with the dead body and wait for Alexa to show up. Using my emetic grenade to get rid of her guard, I have a very easy time tranking her, and then moving her out to the balcony right behind this guard, dumping her in a location that no one will see. Then I make my way back downstairs, but unfortunately got spotted on the way over to her body, so next time, with some maneuvering around the backside of the mansion, I'm able to get to Alexa's body, drag it past just one guard before dumping her in some gross water where I don't think she will get spotted. With me only using a sick dart and a sick grenade, I don't need to collect any evidence or drop guns, so I'm free to leave the level. Now moving on to the most tedious map of the run, Berlin. It wasn't that difficult, more just annoying. I have to kill 5 different ICA agents out of a possible 11. While they do eventually figure out that their agents are dying and pull their plug on the entire operation here, evacuating the other 6, if I'm able to kill the first 5 without leaving any evidence, they might just think that they went rogue and left or something. There's literally only one place on this entire map to hide bodies as well, the canal sewer system on the outside of the map, so I need to meticulously drag all the bodies over there. I started by picking off the easy targets first. The first one I went for is already by the canal, so I can just bait him into a corner with a coin and kill him easily, dumping his body right away, making sure to pick up all of his stuff along with my coin. I next make my way over to the biker hangout and bait another guy onto this staircase where I get another easy kill.
Show yourself, hello.
Now comes the hard part. The rest of the targets I'm gonna kill need to be dragged the same way, but there's an NPC that rotates on the same timing as this camera, making it impossible to drag anyone through here. So I use a sick dart, and then I subdue him by the porta potties. The dart gun will leave a dart sticking to him, so I also need to dump his body because the dart is evidence. I then use my emetic gas grenade to make 2 more people in this larger open area sick, subduing another one. Finally, I make this guard sick and subdue him as well. With the list of evidence piling up, I need to dump these bodies, and honestly, it's pretty easy. I just need to wait for a couple NPC cycles and drag them carefully over to this section and dump them. I also have this gun that one of them dropped, but luckily I'm able to easily get rid of it by also dumping it in the same location. Making my way up to this roof, there are 2 guards. One that's my target and another future casualty of this challenge. I trank the non-target before dumping him out of any lines of sight, before going over and subduing my actual target, then also dumping him, but not before picking up his loot. I then just drag my target and the NPC over to the same location and dump them both. This next guy is pretty easy. I just lure him away from this conversation, then trank him before dumping him as well. Now comes the hard part of this map. The rest of my potential targets are all in crowded rooms, making it very hard to lure just one away. I also don't have any more trank or sick darts or gas grenades, so I need to do this purely with a coin. Making my way up to the biker hangout, I find my last target in the storage room with a large amount of guards around him. Eventually he leans on this windowsill, and after some attempts of throwing this coin, I'm able to lure him over, allowing me to subdue him before I drag him all the way over to the same location, dumping his gun and his body before I go to various locations to grab scraps of evidence, finally allowing me to leave without any evidence besides a lot of missing people, leading straight into China, where there are 2 targets on the complete opposite sides of the map from each other. One underground in a lab named Imogen Royce, and the other in an abandoned apartment building named Hush. There are only 2 locations that people can possibly be hidden on this map: the cooler in Royce's lab and the sewer system outside of the apartment building by the homeless camp. Hush is the much harder target, so I decided to start with Royce. Getting into her lab is not hard at all. I climb out of this restaurant bathroom before entering through a shipping container, which is secretly an entrance to the lab. Royce gets pretty close to the cooler on her own, but not anywhere where I'd be able to knock her out. Instead, after grabbing a couple USBs to allow me to get deeper into this lab, I shoot her with a sick dart before going over to the bathroom that she throws up in. Once she enters the bathroom, I subdue her before dragging her into the second stall, making her guard just walk away. Then, once her guard leaves, I wait for this NPC to stand up before throwing my emetic gas grenade. Then, after some careful maneuvering around NPCs and cameras, I'm able to dump Royce's body into the cooler. I then grab a smuggled emetic explosive that is needed for killing Hush, before making my way back out of the lab and grabbing my briefcase along with a crowbar from the homeless camp. While making my way up through the apartment building, I can explain why I needed that extra emetic explosive. Bathroom tech. If somebody is already thrown up due to an emetic device, that will make the bathroom they go to occupied, meaning I can make my target sick, causing him to go to another location to throw up. Usually, if you just make Hush sick, he will go to this bathroom where a patient is already there, making it impossible to kill him. So instead, I use my emetic explosive, now packed into my briefcase to contain any pieces of shrapnel, to make this patient sick and this bathroom occupied in the eyes of the game. Then I'm able to shoot Hush with my remaining sick dart, where instead of going to the bathroom like he usually would, he goes out onto this balcony where I'm able to slow his guard down by putting my gun down in the doorway, allowing me just enough time to knock out Hush and dump him over the ledge while his guard is calling for help to pick up the gun. Now I just need to get Hush out of this building and down to the ground floor. I can't just drag him through the building because people will see him. Every time I tried to cross the bridge over to the other rooftop, the camera just magically spotted me even though I was outside of its range. So instead, I grabbed the crowbar I used earlier to open this door before I head back down to the street, but I do grab my gun from storage, making sure that even if the guard who spotted it says there was a gun, there is no evidence to corroborate his story. Back outside, I use the crowbar again to open this manhole, creating a new exit and a place to dump bodies. I then knock out the homeless guy that sleeps down here, then dump him down the manhole, making sure that no one is over here to spot the body when I dump it out the window. I then dump Hush's body, grab my briefcase, the only remaining piece of evidence left behind, before following suit and exiting through the sewer system as well. Finally, we get to Mendoza, by far the map with the hardest single target in the entire challenge. We do, however, have 2 targets to eliminate: Don Yates and Tamara Vidal. Tamara Vidal. With basically just one place to dump them both, the lake on the side of the map, this is going to be incredibly annoying. Starting from the cave spawn, I decided to go for Don first up at his private villa. Making my way up there, I have to be fast enough to get up to his bedroom before he does, allowing me to trank him before he's able to go out of the balcony to have a conversation with his wife. But every time I was able to trank him, his wife just decided to come inside and see the body. So instead, I'm going to let him go outside and have the conversation. Afterwards though, his wife enters first and immediately goes downstairs, leaving a perfect opportunity to trank Don and not be spotted. Then, after dumping him into a stairwell off the side of the villa, it's just a matter of sneaking past guards and waiting on cycles to get him over to the lake where I dump his body. Although his body didn't fall that far into the water, hopefully when the tide rises his body gets washed away. Anyways, next up is Tamara. So I make my way over to the main venue and start following her around. She is flanked by 2 guards at all times however, so in an attempt to get her alone, I throw my emetic gas grenade to get both the guards sick, but it only manages to hit one of them. Oops. Then, while she's sitting with Diana, I shoot her with a sig dart, but missed twice. I shoot her with a sig dart and wait in the hallway of the bathroom I know she goes to. Once I subdue her, it's just a matter of sneaking through the tunnel system down here and getting to the lake. But I get spotted every way I go. So eventually, I just give up. I give up, bro. I give up. Meaning I lose this challenge all because one of the 12 targets in this challenge. Make sure to like and subscribe for more Hitman content. Also leave a comment for an idea for another challenge I should do, and if this video hits 150 likes, I'll do the top challenge that the comments say. Goodbye!